you really think that your photo is hanging up in Tyra Banks' home?
Yes. Can I tell you guys a story?
Everybody go. 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 What's going on, everybody? This is Oliver Twixt here, your nerd boy cutie, reporting for duty, here to do the Lord's work, and we are talking to Kiara from Sako 19 of America's Next Top Model, the college edition. Now, the college edition is very significant because it represents so many changes in top model history. That's judges, format, songs, all those things. However, this cycle did not spare the drama. We've already talked to Victoria, the polarizing Victoria, and now we are talking to the Kiara. And so, without further ado, I'm going to bring her in.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my God, I'm so good. How are you?
I'm okay. I can't complain. You're so beautiful.
Oh my God, stop. Thank you. So are you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Now listen.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't be me if I wasn't a little messy. So I got to be slightly messy because it makes me laugh. Y'all don't understand how hard it was to get Miss Kiara. She is a busy, booked woman. Now listen, this chat was supposed to happen many moons ago, but Miss Kiara is out there snatching all the girls' currency, all their fiscal budgets. And she said, Oliver, I don't got time for you in these chats, girl. You have to see me later.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Honestly, it was just, the holidays too. And being a mom, this just adds to it. You know, the most of the free time that I have of just as a toddler. But I was so excited. I definitely was. And last minute got that job. I just got back from DC. My bags just seem like they're always packed. So I don't mean to, I'm not trying to flex. I'm just saying I'm grateful.
No, flex, girl. Flex on them. Flex on them.
Flex real quick. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just really grateful. This year has been already turning around. Last year was crazy. You know what I mean? And with God and all of the prayers that we are putting in and everything that I've learned from my experience, I can just say that, it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a good year. So, yeah.
I believe so, too.
Yeah, yes.
I'm going to back this thing up a little bit. Let me see. How do I want to look for the girls and squirrels?
I just got off mommy duty, so I'm just,
No, girl, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, thank you.
You stop it. Stop it.
Oh, you stop. Oh my God, I'm so happy this is finally happening. See, I'm like chill now. I knew that it was going to happen eventually. And plus, one of the times was you. Okay, I remember that specifically. Yes. So don't blast me because I was ready. I was ready for you. So this was a back and forth thing, but here we are. So cheers.
What are you drinking?
This is just water. I'm trying to do cleanse, girl.
Oh, I'm drinking my famous celery juice.
Ooh, celery juice. Mm-hmm. See, I need to come hang with you. Where are you at right now?
I'm in Atlanta.
I need to come to Atlanta. I love Atlanta. I went out there for the Tyler Perry thing.
Oh, which we're going to talk about. Many questions about Tyler Perry. Where are you? Are you in California?
I'm back and forth between California and Vegas right now, just because my baby's so young. So I spend half my time here, half my time there, literally. And it's great. It's really close, really hop, skip, and a jump. So right now I'm in Vegas, hanging with the fam. My brother just turned 29. There's a gang of them. So, it's just good right now. Everything is, I can't stop smiling. I really can't.
You are just a ball of everything right now. She's like, yeah, I'm between two places and, I'm living goals. A lot of people are saying, he'll be Banks' realness. You get that a lot.
You know what? It takes a lot of practice and honestly, like adversity, like dealing with everything that I dealt with. It's not like that I just woke up and did this. I think if anything that the show taught me was that nothing is going to be handed to you. You know what I mean? Even if you have this platform, you know, there was many things that I dealt with after the fact and learning and becoming a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, and knowing what it is. So it wasn't easy, but it took this long for me to be like, feel like I'm kind of like, you know, I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow right now. So this is me flowing in the flow.
Okay, well, listen, we're just gonna flow on in to these questions.
Okay.
I didn't do you too bad because I wanted to get you in and out because I know it's late Sunday and you have kids and I don't want to keep you too long.
Oh no, it's fine. She's over there with all her aunties and uncles playing t-ball in the backyard. They're fine. They're having a
Got you. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get into it. Rose Schaefer wants to know what made you audition for Antm.
Great question. So I was actually studying for finals at UCI, and my grandmother, Nana, who was on the show, the finale, she had called me and she was like, Kiara, Tyra's taking applications for America's Next Top Model. You really should try out. And I said, Nana, like, that was probably one of those things that happened. And so, but I was procrastinating and I just like sent a little thing. And I got an email from one of the scouts who said, can you send some pictures? And I didn't have any pictures, so I just sent Facebook stuff. And they asked me to come to the first casting. And sure enough, it was in Universal Studios, and this was a real casting. And I made it 3 cuts up to semifinals, up to finalists. So it was really my grandma. She knew that I always kind of wanted to get into the entertainment industry as a singer, model, what have you. So she's always been looking out for opportunities for me and making sure I'm all right, even to this day. That's like, she's my rock.
Shout out La Abuela.
A la abuela. She's
Grande. Yes, ma'am. How did you feel about not seeing Miss J, Mr. J, and Nigel Barker?
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty disappointed. I was very excited. Growing up watching the show, I was like, oh my gosh, Miss J is so fierce. Like, I can't wait to show her my walk. Like, you know, and Nigel had like this like little, like, you just have to flutter when you're around him. It's just like, oh, these people. And they switched it up, but I was happy. Like, I'm still friends with Johnny to this day. Not that he was a judge, but Rob was really, really cool. He had my back. Like, I felt like a lot throughout the judging panels. And Kelly was, Kelly. She was she was cool too. She had a really cool side. Like, I think that she was just real. She's like very, she doesn't sugarcoat anything. That's all.
Good. Now, the last thing that was added, this is still from Rose Schaefer. She's asking, did you like the social media scores and challenge score being a part of your overall score? They introduced this whole numbers game. I was like, girl.
Yes. Hold on. So basically, let me see. I need to plug my phone in. Does it look weird if I do like that?
Yeah.
Sideways. Here.
Upside down, girl, you're turning.
You can sing too. Why don't you go ahead and get them vocals up for everybody? Let them know about it. Let's ask you some questions. You're going next.
Right.
Okay, that should work. We should be good like that. It was a different platform, and the difference is that a lot of people were judging on just the pictures rather than seeing who I was as a person. Not that that's what it's about. It's really about your product. But I thought that the progression of how it was, you're going to have your fans that are going to hop on. And one thing that Tyra said during one of the panels was that I have a very high fashion look, and not a lot of people know what to do with that. It's very, you have to do it right. And I was just kind of starting out. So it was a challenge, but I was up for a challenge. Like, it could have went all different kinds of ways still with just the judges voting too. So I can't really, say, it was good or bad. And I think that overall people liked having that kind of interaction, you know what I mean? Being able to be involved and say they had to say. So at the end of the day, it's a television show and it's what people like. So if it adds to the part of the new America's Next Top Model wave. So the fashion industry changes too. You better change with it.
That response was so good. Like, that was so safe. It was good though. Like, you answered the question, you gave your opinions, but it was so safe. I am so impressed. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Thank
I
you.
gotta give props and props to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love interviews. And
She snaked in and out of that so good. Ooh, I'm gonna have fun with you tonight because I'm now. It's a vendetta of mine to get you to crack now.
Give me, honey. Let's see what they say about that black don't crack. You know,
Right.
I'm real with it, but you know, I've never. Go ahead. We'll see.
Wordle 101 wants to know, what did your college think about your participation in America's Next Top Model?
They loved it.
Oh, dope.
Yes. This was not something that anybody was expected. Even in the chats today, I got some supporters from my fellow anteaters. They were just like, you represented us well. And being someone who they identified with as an athlete, I think was really, really cool for them, because before then they came to the basketball games and they saw me in a completely different light. Mm-hmm. And so for them to see me here, I really appreciated my support. I went back long after the show and they had put up this like kind of like not top model thing, but just like Kiara basketball thing in the athletic department and stuff. And that was, I felt really, So I love my school. I love UCI. It's a beautiful campus. If you go to Irvine, please, you got to visit it. It's gorgeous. I'm really proud of them. They're proud of me.
What's you guys' chant?
We go zot, zot, zot. So you put your hands like this. It's not necessarily like a longhorn. There's the snout for the anteater. Right. And then you have to go zot, zot, zot.
Zot, zot, zot.
Yes.
Now, Z Zenith wants to know, what is her opinion on all of the girls? And I'm going to call them out one by one. And you tell me the first thing that hits your brain.
Okay.
Jessie.
Jessie was cool. Jessie was swaggy. Jessie gives me Silver Lake vibes. Like, she was so just like, get in there. She's just smiling all the time. Jessie never stops smiling. That's what I love about Jessie. You know, those people are always lovely to be around.
Okay. Maria. Well, you know, Maria, I think that Maria, honestly, looking back at it now, given her background, like, we all came to the show with certain insecurities. And I think hers were very much so the image that she's held so far for her brand of being an intellectual and being someone who, you know what I mean, takes a lot of pride in that. So not wanting to lose that image, you know, I think that being a student and being true to herself was very important to her. So that, in a sense, I think was smart on her part. And it can be seen as a lot of different ways, just like a lot of different people's reactions. They're going to be like, oh, she's snooty. And some people will be like, no, she just didn't want to do that. She was better than that. You know, in her eyes, like, it didn't hurt her. So, you know, that's how I feel about her. What are your thoughts on her entire exit from the show and like blow up and Kelly and the things, and she leaves?
You know, I think that at this point, how many years ago that was, I know I would have handled things a lot differently too. We were all in college. I was on the tail end of it. Laura and I were the only girls who I think were 21 at the time. So keeping that in mind, these girls were 18 to 20 years old. So when I think about that and how a teenager would be like, you know, to her aunt and be mad, you know what I mean? Those are the reactions you're going to get. I'm quite sure, even for myself, when I look at the show, I'm like, oh my God, look at young little like Russell Kiki. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's cute to watch. And I'm sure, oh my God, that was me when I was a teenager. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
She felt those feelings, but she wouldn't have reacted in that way. And it's a buildup, you know what I mean? This is an intense situation for a team who's never been on set, you know, being challenged in this way. So she just triggered and did her thing. That's what happened.
And mama said, I gotta go. I can't take it. I gotta go.
I'm sorry, bye. Yeah. And Kelly was, you know, she's just, those types of personalities do not mesh sometimes. And that was just what we saw. So, you know, it would be interesting to see where she's at now.
What about Darian?
Darian, you know Darian.
What about Darian?
Darian was interesting. She was definitely one of those testers, you know, and like I said, back in the day when I was younger, if there was a tester, then, I mean, even at a basketball game, the first thing somebody does is going to check you. So she was checking me. And the first thing you do is check back a little harder. And that's how I handled it, you know, back then. Now it would be a little bit more mature and psychological, you know, because I felt as though a lot of the things she was saying were just out of her frustration and being insecure about knowing it was going to be one of us. It wasn't going to, you know what I mean? One of us was going to go first before the finalists. That's how I think all of the tall, statuesque, light-skinned girls felt, you know, that we were kind of had this little competition amongst themselves, which happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was just, I've felt that before. I don't really ever get intimidated by that kind of behavior. And I think back then I used to definitely make it a point too to try and do it in as less words as possible and just kind of just let that unfold. Because
a lot of fan questions about how long did that argument last?
Oh my God. Okay, so that did not last that long. I did not say that many times. That's why I made a joke about it in my post, because I probably said it like 3 times. They made it seem like I kept saying it over and over again. It's probably a matter of like 40 seconds, if that, not even like 30 seconds long. We were just there saying this thing because I felt.
What thing?
Saying that. The thing that I said that I was realizing that I would realize. And I would never do something like that again. Like, right. I mean, right now I would feel that way, but somebody at this point in her life who is that doesn't need to say that. You know what I mean? Because I've already put myself, you know, set these things and boundaries and expectations, and she was just, you know, so it was funny. But the night before it was all night. It wasn't just like a little bit. I didn't really mean it to be, hey, go make Darian upset right now. No, I was just like, hey, can everybody kind of, you know, at a certain hour, if somebody said to me, I'm like, okay, because I would take things differently. That's what people have to understand. If somebody would be like, can you please try to keep it down? I would say, okay, and be respectful. But I'm cool. But because you got all these other things towards Kiara, it came out a different way, you know, so you received it differently. So that's what happened.
Yes, ma'am. What about Destiny? Poor Destiny. I didn't like.
Yeah, that was hard for her to have gone through that kind of experience, and then for Tyra to say, and this was a mistake too, like, because she said that makeover, and because it was nothing like what she said, if that was the case. So again, another like psychological, like hard situation that a girl had to, you know, endure. But I think she handled it the best way that she could. You know, I think I really wish her the best. I really was so nice. I kind of understand what it's like to be kind of down and out and whatever. So I never tried to offend her in any way, by any means. But that's what happens when, you know, people.
You okay over there?
Yeah, the phone fell because I have it on the charger, so I'm very carefully.
Oh yeah, rock steady, like Gladys said.
Rock steady.
Rock steady, baby.
Rock steady, baby.
Hey, wait, don't talk. Hey, give me some more.
Hold on. We have to do the interview first, Oliver.
Okay. Hey, see, I'm black like this and not black like this. You start singing, I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Let's turn on.
Okay, Yvonne.
Yvonne's gorgeous. Yvonne has
that
skin
bitch
like
was
you.
sickening.
She's so sickening. Oh my God. I only have good things to say about Yvonne. Always, usually anyway, you know, and it was hard because I felt that she also felt that she wasn't being represented the way she wanted to be, you know, like she felt some of her pictures were not the best ones that were chosen and always had something to complain about. And I think that especially if you're in a situation, even as a Black model, you have to really kind of be very positive about everything. You know what I mean? In order to, it's part of the business. I mean, you have to kind of like, you have to be in the industry with, if you want to be in it, then you have to pretend, like be there in it. And I'm not saying don't stand up for yourself and set those boundaries when you feel like something isn't right. But at the same time, you kind of got to, it's a business. You know what I mean? And not everything is going to make you happy. You're not going to like everything that they put on you. And so that's something that I think we all learned maybe later. And she was just learning that lesson. But she's gorgeous, and she went on. I mean, I've seen some beautiful pictures come out of her social media, you know, and I'm sure she's fine. She was very smart. She's a very smart girl, very smart. One of the smartest girls in the house, I'm gonna say.
What about Alyssa, the girl? You know what? That girl put her tongue on a cockroach laced floor and they sent her home. I said, oh my God. She thought she was going to get cool points for licking the floor, for literally scrubbing the ground. You know that song, Scrub the Ground? She literally scrubbed the ground, and then they scrubbed the elimination floor with her photo. God damn it.
No, that sucks. Yeah. No, she definitely went all in. She definitely wanted it. And she had beautiful exotic look. I feel like if I think if she wanted to continue on and she really wanted it, she really could have done damage, like been a really huge model, because her look was so exotic and she had a great body. But yeah, she was very funny too. Her and Kristin were so funny. Kristin was like, you know, she was one way, but like they didn't really show how funny she was a lot, and she was very, very funny. And so she always had us laughing. She's the kind of girl you always want to have around, that you would invite to your wedding. Yvonne's cool. I mean, yeah.
What about Brittany? Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Oh my God.
She never got first call out. She was always runner up. I felt so bad. I was like, dang it, she would never hold that bouquet of flowers. Shit.
You know what? That girl, I know. She will never hold the flowers. I cannot believe that analogy. That was so good.
I was trying to hold it in. I was like, oh my God, that was so shady, but it just came in my brain. I had to let it
It was so good. It was so good. No, she was so pretty. She had these freckles, and she definitely was very Disney, like everything that you saw. She's so animated. And but I saw her a couple times after the fact in LA, and it seemed like she was doing well. Her and her sister kind of hit the game and got their little agents and was working it. So she did all right. She came out cool. She did some work after that too.
And of course, the magnificent, glorious Victoria.
Victoria, I've seen her the most since the show. She hasn't changed.
She said that.
Yeah, I've seen her the most since the show. She's this very sweet girl. Ever since the very first episode of that show, I was the one who asked her if she wanted to come into our room. I always wanted to involve her, incorporate her in the house. It was never as though I was trying to alienate anyone, because that's not who I was. It might have seemed as though I was very kind of like hard in the beginning, but I think later on, especially, like I cooked all the time. I wanted her to feel accepted. You know what I mean? And the only time I felt a little triggered was when she made it seem like everybody, you know, was kind of out to get her in some way, when maybe some other girls were acting a little immature. But my concern was strictly for her safety, truly and honestly, because it was visibly changed. I felt like I saw a visible change from the beginning to the end of the show. And so when that was basically it. And now she is so amazing, so healthy. Her and her mom always still like best friends at every show. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've come to respect her on a level of like intellect. As a woman, she does what makes her happy. You know, she doesn't, and she's good. So who am I? Do that. So she's cool. She's a sweet girl. She's just very you know, she's very close to her mother. Like that's it. She's very close. A lot of people are like, there's a lot of people like that.
What about the infamous Kristin?
Yes, Kristin. I think Kristin is very much so one of those like I can tell she's one of the popular girls, just like the cheerleader that you would see, the most popular girl at school in their little clique of 3 or 4 girls. You know what I mean? That like everybody's like, oh my God, they are beautiful, you know. And so I think she's here kind of with that, because remember she was 18. Like this girl just basically got out of high school, so she, of course, you know, she's gonna act like that. Like, but she, like I said, like she was one of the funniest girls. And I guarantee you now, just like me, she looks back and is like, you know, I can't speak for everybody. Maybe she's the same, but I can tell you too that there was a lot of things that they didn't show about Kristin. you know, that were more positive, because it was sad. I think I met at a reunion, and she said that she had gotten death threats after the show. And I was like, see, that is where it kind of is hard when you have television and it's portraying and editing a certain kind of just one part of you, and not necessarily seeing, you know, all of it. It can really kind of hurt later.
Yeah.
So, because she was a funny girl. Yeah. Some of the things she said, I can't defend. You know, she has triggers just like everybody else, and she comes out and she's aggressive. When we have fight or flight, there's some people that fight, and she's a little like Yorkie. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, Yorkie, sit down. You're like, you know what I mean?
Right.
She's got a lot of energy, a lot of bark, but she's sweet, you know, when they sit down. You know, she was just young. But yeah, she's one of those, she's like, you know, and then they got in that clique, and because Laura definitely was more friends. I remember with Leila, and then when she became blonde, like all of a sudden, I don't know. They say that's a real thing now, like psychologically. And honestly, I changed it when I got my long hair. That was my first weave. And I remember, you know how you get your first and you're just like everywhere. You know what I mean? No, it's not like to the extent of changing your whole, you know, personality, but at the same time, like I did feel a shift in that. And I don't know if it was, you know, intentional, if Kristin kind of like initiated that through manipulation, you know what I mean? Or I was just playing maybe the safe side of like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And, you know, it's it's like, I don't know. It's a house and we didn't have a cell phone at all. Dang, I keep falling. And you know what? I don't even know.
Here you go, Tyra. We bind you. We bind you from doing harm to yourself and harm to our internet connection. It's Tyra. Tyra, we bind you from doing harm to yourself and harm to our internet connection. Tyra, we bind you from doing harm to yourself and harm to our internet. Are you back? She's back. See, it worked.
We bind you in the name. Here we go. Amen.
What about now? Listen, now this was my bitch. Let me tell you something. Nastasia was my bitch.
Let me tell you something about Nastasia.
Nastasia was because you know, I hate to age y'all, but when this cycle was out, I feel like I was still in high school. Oh no. Cycle. Oh yeah, because it was 2 cycles a year. Yeah, I was still in high school. So Nastasia reminded me of the girls where I was from. You know, real pretty light-skinned girls, curly hair, very, you know, Asian persuasion. You know, they can be whatever they want to be, but would knock you out and listen to Trina and eat boiled peanuts. Nastasia was my girl.
Nastasia was so cool. She's so real and so sweet. Like everything you saw about Nastasia was who she was, and she was about, like, you know, her word, and like she was real, but she was also very good at identifying with your feelings. Like she's one of those girls that can get along with anybody, you know, like you can't really say it, because she'll just, like, if she sees something negative, she's not going to say anything about it. She'll just be like, she's not even going to waste any energy on it, you know what I mean? And so we had so much fun when I got to take her to New York, and we won that Alicia Keys thing. It was just me and her, and like, you know, we still connected to this day, probably just me and her. And that's really all. And Victoria, because I see her all the time, like randomly on shows, I'm still connected with from the show, other than like Tyra and Johnny and stuff.
I wanted Nastasia to win. I thought Nastasia was going to win. And I'm not going to lie, this is no shade. We're talking about a show many years ago, not today. But I said, when I saw Nastasia walk out the door, I said, God damn it, Laura's going to win. 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 And not saying she doesn't deserve it. We'll talk about that later. But I just love, and I believe you were about to get eliminated, and then you got saved, and it cut to her, and she was like, I said, yes! Yes! She took great photos. I overlive for Nastasia. Overlive!
Yeah. Me too. Oh, hold on. I'm getting another call from one of my things. Let me.
Girl, you see this, the life of a rich woman. The life of a rich woman. She can't even do an interview right because the people just call her phone on the money line. We're not gonna bind that. Answer those phone calls, okay?
Sorry.
Oh, no
Different
trust.
countries, because I didn't want to. It wasn't like stopping until I like declined it because it's WhatsApp.
You're totally fine. I don't care. What about the pronunciation of her name? Just left me.
Leila.
I was about to say Leila. Like it literally just left me. Leila
was really cool too. Leila reminded me of like she was just super chill. She was super smart and nice. Probably one of those girls who's a little like too nice. You know what I mean? Like she just didn't really. She was very. I thought she was gonna win. I mean, I knew it was probably gonna be. I was like, definitely either Leila, but I didn't. I thought she would come back. But her look, I mean, she's amazing. She's amazing. And she clearly kills it after the show with all of her campaigns. You know what I mean? So she went off and she did that thing. And now as a mom. So, you know, it's just really beautiful to watch the progression of who Leila started. You know what I mean? Right from that bus in the semifinalists, seeing her grow through after the show. And now as a mom, it's rewarding. I love seeing that kind of story because she seems like she did it all, you know. I'm very proud of her. Very proud of her.
Yes. And then last but not least, Miss Laura James.
Miss Laura James. Again, like I'll never forget that I actually
Rich lady. You can ring my bell.
Actually, so I actually I sat next to her on the bus for the semifinalists because I knew, I was like, if I don't win, it's gonna be that girl. I like the day we even went off, and she can confirm that with her. I was like, I want to sit next to her, just because, you know, you keep your main competition kind of close. I felt like, you know what I mean. So not, you know, so it was cool. Like she was cool in the show. I never really had anything negative to say about her. I just saw the progression and the change and how it started to make Leila feel. And me, I always like, I'm the type of person ever since I was like little, I hate when people are making people feel bad, you know? So I automatically kind of had this like protection thing for Leila about like, you know, because I saw that change and I witnessed them doing this thing and just secluding themselves from everybody. And I know how that feels. She felt like abandoned and stuff like that, and like was affirmed because Christian would just be, you know, rude. And so, you know, but I think that it's just because she had somewhat of an established kind of career or whatever, her parents were who they were, it doesn't necessarily mean she didn't deserve it or not. I feel like a lot of people might, you know, fall like victim to that fact. Is like, why don't I deserve it as much? Because because my parents are this and that, because I've had these things. Maybe she had some experience, maybe she had, but to say that her parents made the show, I see people saying that. I'm like, I don't really believe that would happen, you know, or something like that. So it was probably hard for her to get that kind of backlash after she won the show. But I see her acting now and doing, you know, great things. I think has some premieres on like a couple shows. So she went off to do more acting, which is great. I think it's much more of a longevity career. So yeah, everybody I think kind of came out and did well. You know, that now that I see, I'm not complaining. I'm fine. Like I was on every single episode. In my eyes, I did win. Like I won. Like, you know. So, and I'm winning now. It was a great experience, and sometimes you have to feel that and know. See, wow, exactly.
That Cookie. She okay. She all right. Don't leave Miss Cookie alone. She just want to be loved right now. Everybody say hi to Cookie. Hi to Cookie. Everybody say hi to Cookie. She wants to be seen. Now mommy got to sit down.
Oreo Cookie.
Got to sit down, Cook. Cookie, sit down. Cookie, sit down. Cookie, lay down. Cookie, lay down. All right.
She can stay. She can stay there. Yeah.
Matthias too wants to know, when were the opening credits filmed? It seemed to be the only cycle intros to not list the girls' names and faces. And Maria, didn't seem to be in on it. Tell us the tea, girl, because I kind of know this one, but I want you to tell them because you was there. I wasn't.
The beginning, like the credits, they're filmed in the beginning before we did any of the episode, like the main portions of the episode. Like when they in the beginning, like credits when we're doing the names. Yeah, that wasn't at the end.
Did Maria film hers?
I feel like for some reason Maria, I don't remember why she wouldn't have filmed that day. I don't remember. I really don't remember if she filmed that day or not, but I'm pretty sure everybody did. She wasn't on the credits in the beginning. They might have just not put her in there.
So this is what the top model gossip streets are saying. They are saying that when she quit, whenever you guys filmed the intro, she wasn't there. And so it wouldn't be obvious that she didn't film it. And of course, she wasn't there in the credits because she would be missing from the credits. That's why we got the intro that we got for Cycle 19 because of her ass. That's what the people say. I wasn't there. I don't know.
Well, that could have been the case because I do know that it was towards the beginning of the filming that we did that. But again, she left on a pretty early episode, so it would make sense. And sometimes in the order at which they film it is not the same, so it could very much so be that. But I believe that was the intro we were supposed to have, like, you know. But I don't know, like it was so long ago, I really don't remember that.
Talk about you and Natasha going to see Alicia Keys because you won the challenge.
Yes, it was so much fun. Oh my gosh, we had really, really good seats and they picked us up. We got this amazing hotel. We got to get dinner and then go to the show and watch it together. And then we got to go backstage and see her and visit her in her dressing room and hang out with her for a while. And she remembered us. She thanked us and we were like, thank you. And it was just an incredible experience to be able to do that. Oh, and then after that, there was like a private concert that she had for just like not more than 20 people. And it was a very much little smaller room and just her and a piano and like just one person and it just continuum, but it was very much more intimate. So we got to really hang out with her more and she's incredible. She's such an incredible performer. I mean, the magnitude of like what it's like being in such a stadium and seeing how she handled it was she's such a queen. She was such an inspiration to me as I went on to do my whole like singing journey and stuff like that. So that was dope. She was really cool. I'm glad I got
Alicia Keys.
Yes.
So Tropical Punch wants to know, is she still afraid of being inside or near jails because of that jail experience? And what did her family say when they found out, not even knowing it happened?
Yeah, no, I'm not really afraid of that anymore. I think it was like a trigger of mine because I hadn't dealt with it. And now like at this point in my life, I've kind of dealt with all the things and faced them. Like that's a big thing to accept something about you and yourself. The fact that my family didn't know is the fact that I hadn't accepted that part of something that happened. And so once I was able to do that, my family, they didn't even say anything about it. They never skipped a beat of how proud they were of me and how I handled myself on the show. And obviously, like we are not used to incredible experiences like that. So the fact that we're all together watching me on this television show, I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh, like every week they couldn't believe that I was on another episode, and I didn't tell them. Me and Nana kept it a secret, so they didn't know if I was gonna win. So every week it was like a surprise. So no, my family loves and accepts me as a family should, and we have a really close relationship with all of them now. And yeah, no, I'm not really scared of that kind of thing anymore. But you know, I was young. We do things in our youth we're not proud of. So.
Exactly. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. Andres Gutierrez wants to know, ask Kiara about the whole Bryanboy argument with Yvonne, because I'm pretty sure that judging was a real one to deal with. That judge was a real one to deal with.
Yes, I think that day in particular, like these hours for on set are super long. Like they rush us to get our hair and makeup done, and there's hours of kind of sitting around. That day, and of course, like sometimes things happen where you're hungry or whatever. She was just not feeling it that day, so anything could have like triggered. And I think that she could have handled it kind of like I said in the business, kind of controlled herself a little bit better on set if she sees that something is happening or somebody's having a reaction, you need to immediately be like, I'm genuinely apologize and say, I genuinely did not mean for you to take it that way. This is complete miscommunication. That's it. I have the utmost respect for you. So I think it was cool that she did go back with my advice and kind of say, hey, like, you know, like, I hope that you don't think anything of me, because that's what's going to happen. And that's a lesson for everybody in every business and anything that you're doing. You have to kind of, you know, control your emotions. That's emotional intelligence. You know, that's being,
Emotional intelligence.
That's what that is. And it's the most important, crucial thing, especially in a business like this. So, so yeah, hope that day she, you know, I'm sure, again, like we go back and we're like, you know, I can do that now.
Right.
Yeah.
Arga Charga wants to know, ask her, how does she feel about my video comments in that prison shoot, and tell her I'm so sorry, it was kind of mean. This is the guy from back then commenting now, saying this to you.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Hi. Oh, that's so sweet of you to say that. Don't worry about it. It was, you know, it's something that like I take with a grain of salt, and I appreciate you coming back and saying that now. And I send you so much love and light and blessings. It was a part of my experience, and it got chosen. So you know what I mean? Out of all the comments. And yeah, so don't worry. It didn't really affect me that bad, but I appreciate you saying that.
So I'm curious to know, did you believe that those fan comments and videos were real?
I did. I mean, I did. At the time, I didn't really know what was and what wasn't, but I wasn't sure either if people were just voting on pictures or they were voting on like an actual live thing, if they were like some video clips too, because but at the same time, like it could have been fake. I have no idea at the time. It could be a combination. They could have actors or something or whatever. But I do know that a lot of people tune into that show, and there's a lot of different kinds of people all over the world. So it doesn't surprise me if they did.
Who do you think should have been the comeback girl if not Leila?
Let's see.
I mean, I think it was, you know, the only person instead of her I possibly could have seen come back is Yvonne, only because she made Tyra cry.
Yeah. In speaking of like just for the show,
and we know Tyra is not a great actress, so the fact that she was crying like that, I knew she really meant it. I mean, that is no shade to Mother. She's still Mother, but Mother is a great walker and great poser. She is not great in acting. Which is okay, because I'm not great at certain things, and I have to be okay with that.
Right. And I think she knows that. Like, Tyra knows she really wants to sing, but she can't. But she's openly.
That's my cut, though. That's my song.
No, because the song in the beginning, like the America's Next Top Model song, that's her singing it.
No, that's her. I thought it was that girl from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Like, no, she still posts her checks.
The original one, the original one about all I know is that's what she told us. Tyra said that in one of the songs, like she's singing it. So that's what I heard. That's, you know, I remember that specifically. Maybe we're talking about two different songs, so don't go ahead.
I think so, maybe.
We might be talking about two different songs, so let's just keep it at that so that nobody gets mad.
Okay. See, I was shady, and now we on a whole tangent. Let's go back to that Yvonne. I actually felt like Tyra was very sincere about Yvonne leaving, and I think Yvonne could have came back if not Leila. Yeah,
Yvonne probably, or I mean, even Nastasia could really pose. You know, she really could, and maybe Brittany, but definitely I think Yvonne to kind of. I don't know. Either Yvonne or Brittany. I haven't seen the pictures. I didn't see the pictures. Like, I didn't go see that. So I would have to see that.
Z wants to know, Kiara seemed really critical of Victoria and her relationship with her mother. How does she feel about it looking back now?
I think for me, everything that I say, I would have no problem discussing that topic with that person and everybody that's involved. And especially now, it might have been said a little bit differently, but I think that sometimes, I think at the time when I saw how hard it was for Victoria to just function like
Mm-hmm.
being on the show, and how much she clinged to this letter that her mother had written her, and how hard it was for her to just be immersed in social settings. That's what I felt was a product of being sheltered, or being at home all the time and not having that practice. So I was simply trying to give her that and open that kind of outlet. But yeah, I mean, Victoria and I and her mother are friends. Like I said,
Mm.
I still see them. We still act very cordial, for whatever reason they have that relationship, but it works for them. And they're not the only people that have that. And if that makes them happy, then fine. Because you can't tell anybody that they're living their life wrong. And so I've dealt with that in different extremities of my life as well, even now. And go ahead, be happy, like love your situation. If that's what you guys need, then by all means, live in your space.
Yes, and it's just as simple as that. It's just
Yeah.
simple as that. It's just
Yeah.
simple as that. I do want to correct myself. It was not Yvonne. I'm sorry. I had a Freudian slip because they were both two fiercely real girls. It was Alyssa she cried for, not Yvonne, but Alyssa.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. I knew it was one of them, but I was trying to think if it was after the Tyler Perry or when. But yeah, Alyssa, I definitely, the first person I thought was Alyssa, because of what I said. I was like, she could have really went on and did that because she had the face and all this like this, but I don't really know if her heart was as in it. And I think that once you go through an experience like this, it kind of turns you off, even if it's not, especially if it's not easy for you. If you don't go home and agencies are knocking your door, and if your heart wasn't in it before, you're not gonna like go and be like, hey, So I'm sure she's doing fine. She was a really cool girl.
Gabriella Jin is asking, Kristin was portrayed as one of the most evil personalities in Antm history. I'm glad you came on here and said, yes, she did some things, but she was also very, very funny. The people want to know, is there anything that we did not see during that behind the stage argument with you guys, and she felt like you guys were boasting and bragging in her face? Now, I know she's a changed woman. Everyone's older. I would have cussed her motherfucking ass out.
Well,
I would have laid her out something so sinister, she would have been scarred. Every time she saw somebody with glasses on their face, she would have PTSD. Because I would have vocally, verbally, linguistically vanquished her.
No, yes, but that's what she wanted. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what she wanted. And here I am getting my best photo first time. Like, you know what I mean? I'm very happy about it. And people like that, when you're celebrating success, they want to dampen that parade. They want to ruin that moment for you. And I realized, just like I said before, I'm like, I realized this girl's 18 years old. It doesn't make any sense for me to argue with this child because I'm not a child anymore. You know what I mean? So I said what I had to say and then left it at that. But I mean, for you to be upset about somebody's success and verbally tell them that is just, that's a poor reflection on you. I don't really have to say anything because that looks crazy already. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to, at that point, I already had my moments on the show. I was so grateful to be where I was. I never traveled outside the country. Nothing really could bring me down at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing could bring me down at that point. You know what I mean? Then my grandmother comes. I was like, I'm not hearing any negativity, anything you have to say. Like, I am here. I did not think that I could get this far. So I'm not even tripping on the small stuff right now. And she was definitely the small stuff because I did not even think she was going to win. I knew she was going to be out. Like, not once did I think she was going to be in the top 3. So if you're not a threat to me, especially, I'm not going to waste my time, like even my energy on you.
Lamb Robot wants to know. Great. Oh, and spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert. Kristin is coming to talk to me very soon. And we've been keying and laughing. And I'm so excited to talk to her because she's so excited to talk to me and talk to y'all. And I'm gonna give her this. I'm gonna hold her toenail to the fire.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too.
No, she's funny. Now you get to see how funny she is. She's so fun to talk to. Like, I remember, laugh. She made me laugh the most.
First of all, I didn't do it with you because you're a busy woman, and so I just didn't do it with you. But I normally ask the girls which photo from your top model portfolio do you want me to use. She sends me a meme of her from top model. I was like, no, I can't wait to talk to her. Like, I'm so excited to talk to her.
I'm telling you, you're gonna think she's hilarious. She's really funny. She's really funny. I'm excited. I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna tune in for that.
Okay. So, Ina_we wants to know, were the gowns worn on the final runway heavy? And Layla really having a blunder. Okay, I'm sorry. I think they probably typed their thing out and they translated it. So I'm gonna rephrase. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Were the gowns worn, that celery juice, y'all, were the gowns worn on the runway heavy? And was Layla's mistake really that big in real life?
Yes, the dresses were heavy. But I think, yeah, the dresses were pretty heavy. And some of them were pretty long, too. Like, the length of the dress was also a challenge. And some of us did have neck pieces that didn't allow us to look down. And so they definitely challenged us, to say the least, because the steps were pretty steep. And even to get there, you had to get through a tunnel. And so, you know, I think that on the finale runway show, any kind of stumble is going to be a big deal for anybody. You know what I mean? I think, I mean, even just because it's your last shot of doing the best that you can, and you came back, you know, and she did it twice in a row. That was the thing. She fell one time, and then
Leila, no!
She fell off the runway.
She was done. She vanquished herself. Whoa, boom! I'm sorry.
I think, yeah, no, you know what? She did. We can't even, there's nothing we could say. I was really concerned because it was a high runway, and I could only imagine, especially, you know how, like, when you're about to get in a car accident, if you see it, if somebody sees it and it's coming, that level of tense, she was already really tense. And then for something to happen like that again, like off the runway intent, like, we were just, are you okay? No one, everyone was like, she handled it. She was strong. She was just like, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. She didn't even look up. She didn't cry. She was just like, I got to finish this. So I admired her strength for getting up and finishing the best way she could.
I said, dang it.
Yeah, it sucks. That was hard. That was hard because that's the last thing. I think anybody who falls is just like, oh, I'm out. I would have felt the same way, you know, but I was not about to fall on that. I counted the steps in the rehearsal, so I knew how many there were.
Z_Zenith wants to know, Kiara, did you really think that you were going to make it as far as you did? And once it got down to the final two, did you think you were going to win?
I did think I was going to win. I did think I was going to win for the simple fact that I didn't think I was going to make it that far. So those two questions are connected in that sense, because I realized that my competitive nature had kicked in. I was clearly improving and learning the show better every episode. Mm-hmm. Learning why we're here and what, you know what I mean? And also really taking my challenges seriously to make up for my photo and lack of, like, those scores. And so when I got up there, I was like, oh, something happened. Like, they believe in me. And now I feel more comfortable with posing. And with the last challenge coming down to a runway, which I was always very strong at, I was like, I got this. You know, every score or episode, I got higher and higher photo shoot scores. So I thought that everything added up. So yeah, I thought I was going to win. But, you know, I would think the reason why I had such a reaction was because I did want it so bad. I thought I was going to win, and my grandmother was there. And after 2 months of doing this thing and not having any other connection to the outside world, this becomes your reality. Mm-hmm. This is the perfect example of a reality show because nothing was scripted. And a lot of people ask me that. Nothing was scripted. There was a lot. We can't talk in between things so you don't miss anything. But there was no time where somebody's like, I want you to do this and say this and read this. So everything was really genuinely a surprise. And, you know, it was really a competition. So, but no, yeah, that's to answer your question. I thought I was going to win, but I didn't think. I was very grateful every time I got onto another show. So, yeah.
Yes. Betsy underscore Bugmaster wants to know, and you touched on this earlier, do you think that Laura having famous parents played into her winning the show?
The only way that I think that it could have was because, similar to why my daughter is so animated, she has an influence. She has the influence of her mother, knowing what it's like to be a showwoman. She has the influence of her father, you know, knowing what it's like to be on set and having that type of persona. My parents were not that. Like, you know, my mom was a teacher and my dad is like a professor, like counselor. I didn't grow up with. I was just kind of wanted to be this thing. And so I think in that way, then maybe just with the fact that she probably got lessons in her past about how to present herself and stuff like that. So that might have been an advantage. But I don't think that anybody paid anybody off or anything like that. I think that she was just very fortunate to have a wonderful, you know, parent and environment and an upbringing to be in that type of light. So she knew how to kind of do that. Yeah. Yeah.
You're good. You are good. Someone wants to know, how was it working with Tyler Perry?
It was incredible. That was my first time doing anything like that on that type of like set, like Tyler Perry Studios, like on in Atlanta there. It was amazing. I got treated like a real star. He was really cool on set. The way they film their episodes, he's super on, hands-on. They film everything really quick. He tells it how it wants to be. He's very professional. And you could see him working in his creative space. That this was just amazing. So I played a character named Crystal on one of the shows, Love Thy Neighbor, and it was cool. I had a few lines and a couple of scenes, you know, outfit changes. So I felt really like that was a great experience, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, Tyler Perry, and all of
Tyler Perry. That's my boy.
Yes, so amazing.
Rain Michael wants to know, do you really think that your photo is hanging up in Tyra Banks' home?
Yes. Can I tell you guys a story? So Tyra is my girl. So she booked me for this this makeup campaign that she was doing at the time, her like not her Smashbox thing. She was doing her makeup thing and she booked me as one of the models. And the photographer at the time, his name was Eric, and that's who she was seeing. But he spent some time in her house, let's just say. Eric was taking pictures of my face, and he was like, "Can you look at the side and do the profile?" And he was like, "I know this face." And Tyra's like, "That's the picture that's in my bathroom in the salon." And he was like, "Oh, this is her." And so that was my affirmation. It's like, I am really in this woman's house. Like, you couldn't have made that up.
Listen, I don't care what anyone has said about Tyra Banks, past, present, or future. The fact that she actually did that bitch is going to heaven. I don't care. All her sins have been forgiven. Because I'm telling you, if you would have got on here and you would have said anything close to your picture not being in that woman's house, she would have been officially done. So the fact is hanging up in my court in the United States of Oliver Twixt, Antm to exclusives, that bitch is getting to heaven. She's getting to heaven.
Yeah, that was really cool. She's really real. She's a woman of her word. She's a professional businesswoman. She is my motivator and inspiration, a role model of mine. Definitely an icon for sure. Like she's definitely doing it, and I'm so amazed. I can only imagine her as a mother right now. How much that elevated me as a boss. You know, like who she is now, doing her ice cream thing. Like she is amazing in every sense of that word. So yeah.
You know, I've officially done 42 of these things. God
wow.
damn it. You are officially number 42. The girls told me tonight. And I always tell everyone, I'm only a conduit of the conversation. I have my opinions, but I really don't like vocalizing them because I wasn't there. So I don't think it's fair for me to lay claim to someone or some things that I wasn't there to see myself and form my own opinions. So of course we've had girls come in here and share their not so nice opinions about Tyra. And of course we've had girls like yourself come on here and share positive opinions about Tyra. I love it because it shows that she is a human. I'm not excusing anything that she's done because, again, I wasn't there. I'm not her God that she prays to. But it just shows that just like you, just like me, just like everyone out here in the world, she's human, she's complex, and she has her reasons that make her tick for whatever it is, but she's not one-dimensional. She's a human.
No, what I think people need to understand too is that once you reach a certain level in your career, like a Tyra or a Beyonce, she might do something that you might witness and not be able to identify with because you don't know what it's like to function up there on that level of business, on that level of whatever it is. And it might be a reaction that was taken the wrong way. It might have been, you know, something that she's really dealing with. But like I said, like, I respect her as a businesswoman, as someone who knows how she wants a certain thing to be and being able to make that happen. You know, and a lot of times we deal with things that the people who might have those opinions are two things: have no idea what it's like to deal with, or insecure in some type of way to be able to be projecting that type of image on someone that they have no idea of, like, what it's like to be them on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like, and to have given them an opportunity or any type of light to shine, to then come back and then have something negative to say is going to be blocking your blessings. Because that's something that I can only be grateful to that woman, no matter what I think she might have done or whatever. The fact that she gave me this opportunity and platform to do what I did, that was up to me. So throwing shade is only comes back to you. Like, and no one is perfect either. Like, you know what I mean? First of all, like, whatever they saw, whatever they might be doing, especially if you have the time to be negatively speaking like that. I mean, I don't know. I have a different relationship with her. So maybe other people have experienced different things for whatever reason, but that's my experience with Tyra Banks. So.
Well said. I can't say nothing about that.
Yeah.
Okay, really quick. I'm going to list the judges. A lot of questions about how you feel about the judges, which you kind of tapped on, but we're just going to do it officially. Johnny Wujeck as a new creative director, do you feel like he did his job well, and what is your relationship with him now?
I think he did an incredible job. I think that he was always very, very supportive, very, very real, very much so felt like he's your friend, that he's definitely telling you exactly what looks good and what doesn't. And we felt that we could trust Johnny enough to go and ask him this question and then be able to improve the next shoot from the things that he said. Remember, we talked about this. Remember, we talked about this, you know? I've done shoots with Johnny after the fact, just being on set with him, styling people. We've hung out many times. So he's definitely somebody he has a light that shines that no one can dim. Like, he is very much so an authentically amazing, genuinely talented stylist, for sure. So yeah, that's how I feel about him. He deserves everything that he gets. Look at the work; it speaks for itself. He and I've been to his house. I've seen the magnitude of, like, the stuff that he has. Like, he takes it seriously and has everything you could possibly. He's so professional, and he's so cool. He's so nice and so cool to be around. Like, Johnny's the best. Like, I don't think anybody has anything negative. You find somebody. I will literally give you $50 that can say something bad about Johnny. Like,
do you have Cash App? Do you have Cash App? You got Cash App?
I have to check the source. Yeah.
Well, I did a talk with Corey from Cycle 20, and Corey doesn't have some nice things to say about him, and he worked with Johnny one-on-one. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know, but you said find somebody who can say something negative about Johnny. Okay. Here it is. I will DM you my Cash App. It's verified.
Okay. All right. DM it to me. And then I will DM you the conversation that I have between Corey and I so that I can find out. Because Corey's really sweet.
Corey is very sweet. I mean, Corey wasn't nasty about it. He just said, you know, girl, you just got to go watch it. I feel like I'm being nasty.
I'll go watch it. Okay.
This, you know, some of the things he shared about Johnny and Bryanboy, who I'm going to ask you about, Bryanboy, that wasn't nice, and he felt like they were treating him a certain way. So, again, I don't know. I wasn't there. I was in Florida in high school.
And there's 3 sides to every story, so you know.
Okay, what about Bryanboy as a social media like expert? I forgot what his title was. I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel like probably the girls that got eliminated got to spend more time with Bryanboy than I did. He was kind of like their ringleader. We didn't get as much interaction with Bryanboy. I felt like he's probably very good at the internet thing, and that's what he does, like all the blogging and fashion news and stuff like that. But yeah, I felt like he was just very good at reporting what he saw, and then magnifying that just by his just normal way of being. But he didn't spend too much time with us on set. He would only be there for like the few times that he did, and then we never really talked to him. Like sometimes the judges would come in and see us during hair and makeup. Like I rarely ever saw him. So I can't really speak too much. Yeah, but I didn't spend too much time with him.
What about Rob? You talked about Rob having your back. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, Rob. Yeah. Rob was we're friends. We're friends. Him and Johnny and I hung out once after the show, and it was nice to have kind of that, like on the show you can't really be friends. You know what I mean? Like you don't really talk to the judges. We don't have times where we're like hanging out like that, and we don't want any. Of course, it's a competition, so we have to be very careful. And they're kind of in a different area than the talent is, like the judges and stuff. But it was nice to get to know him on a personal level. He's very cool story. He's very easygoing. So yeah, we hung out a couple times after that. Yes. Well, can I ask, is there something else you would like to ask me? It seems like you're pausing for more information.
Don't ask man. I don't know what about you just makes me want to sing tonight. I don't know what it is. I want to say, don't ask my neighbor. Come to me. But, I'm not going to go there. All right. What about Kelly Cutrone? Kelly Cutrone was not nice to you.
No, yeah, she wasn't. She wasn't. But I don't know. Like, I don't think that she felt that I had a space in the fashion industry. She was one of the people that I ran into, especially early on in my career. That didn't think that I had the body frame to be here or whatever, for like I was too much of an athlete. And she definitely was very vocal about letting you know that, and she doesn't soften anything for your emotions. So I've dealt with people, like I've had coaches like that who talk like that, and so emotionally I wasn't scarred by her because she didn't show me anything other than that. So that's how I expected her to be at all times. You know what I mean? So, but she had a soft side too. Like she had a really cool. There is a funny story I should tell you guys about her. She accidentally let slip where we were gonna go. Like asked one of us behind stage, like if we were something. Oh, she said she was taking her child to Jamaica, and this is before we found out where we were going. And we're all mic'd up, like the majority of the time. So we were like, oh, okay. But we didn't really like put it together. We were kind of like, did you hear what she said? Like, what did she say that for? Like, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, lo and behold, we have our day where they're going to reveal to us where we're going. So they put up where we're going, and it said Paris. And they did that so that we could have, so that we were like, oh, like nobody really, because if they put Jamaica up there, then we'd be like, oh, like they would already got. So they get that reaction, and then immediately after Ken Mock comes out, says, "Okay, ladies, I have good news and I have bad news." And so that's all the thing. It's just one of the funny behind-the-scenes moments of reality television that you can't plan for. But so now you know that reactions were because they thought they were going to
the children thought they were going to Paris.
I was like, oops. But I was very happy with Jamaica because I was like, they're gonna understand me there because y'all because that's what Tyra said, like, oh, people don't really know. I was like, well, if I go to Jamaica, they will, so that was definitely where
that is funny. Thank you for that little story. Okay, do you feel as if your best photo was purposefully not chosen? A lot of questions about your photo selection during Top Model. Some fans in the comments feel as if they purposefully were choosing not so great photos of you to.
Yeah. I definitely had that thought a few times that I felt like I gave better shots in previous photo shoots. But then again, I don't really know what it looked like. We never got to see all of the images. I can say that if it did cross my mind that if they did pick everybody's best photo every single time, it might be a lot more difficult. I really don't know. If you think about it that way, just logically speaking, there might be a cusp of if there was like a cusp of like this picture or this picture, they might go with this one just to make it, you know, interesting. There's a lot of things that can happen to make things interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, you know, I was like, you can only control what you can control. You know what I mean?
This is true. This is true. I love your attitude towards all of this. It's very inspiring. I hope to one day have that level of because it's really, I don't give up. Really, it's, you know, like you really things that you can control and things that you can affect and manipulate. Worry about that, and everything else, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
I am gleaning from you right now.
Yay! That makes me so happy.
So listen, I'm going to turn it over to the people who are watching. If you're new to this, if you want me to ask Miss Kiara your question live right now here on this thingy-majiggy to ask her the things of the things, cop a badge. I will see the little icon pop up to your next to your name, excuse me, and I will ask her question live right here. One, guys, only one, just so we can get through it and everybody can pray, and they can go take a bath, and, you know, brush their teeth, Kegel, you know, all those things.
It's a very essential exercise. So I get it.
You know, so I always end my videos with telling the people to Kegel, and they're laughing when I say that, but I'm really telling that so you can focus. But it's like, you might as well do an exercise that helps you focus that will also strengthen something else. You know, it's like
if you can strengthen that muscle, it's very useful for you.
Yes, it's like your focus. You probably can levitate soon. You probably can like move things eventually. Your mind is so strong.
I'm telling you, right? It's getting to the point where I'm making little miracles happen. Like just what you just said. Like I have a whole new kind of thing that I'm venturing off into. Like, you know, just speaking and talking about this whole metacognition, quantum field, and manifesting things and being your authentic self and how to like do that and be unbothered, right? Like just kind of get to that Zen space. So
yes,
so that's what we're talking about. All my students know like, that I work with right now. So
so you're saying that there could be a section in the book about Kegeling and how Kegeling can get you to a place of
1,000%. We will dedicate an entire meditation to Kegel. It will be called the Kegel that meditation Kegel. Like, yeah.
I'm a prophet, y'all. Because I told them this all the time. They be laughing, but I'm a prophet. See, Kiara just confirmed it.
You need to patent. It's going to be called Meta Kegel.
Meta Kegel. The Meta Kegel. Let me get into these questions. Okay. Do you feel that Top Model was an enriching experience overall?
Absolutely. I feel like everything is an enriching experience, first of all. With something like that I had never even had a photo shoot, even had my makeup done professionally, for me to say that wasn't one of the best things that had happened to me to that point in my life, I would be lying. That was like incredible. And what I learned from it, through it, because of it, and who I became through that experience, I can honestly say it was definitely a blessing from God. Definitely a blessing. Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ashley.morgan.fink is asking, do you wish Jay and Nigel were on your cycle? You already answered that. So I'm going to tell you, when I upload this video to YouTube, just rewind back to the beginning. She answers that in full detail, actually. Yeah. Koki is saying, even though the judges thought you looked like a girl in a music video in the zombie photo shoot, I love the picture of you. What would you have done differently for that photo shoot?
Now I probably would have done some like crazy jumps. I think that in the experience that I have now with such a cool set, that they were trying to emit some emotions, I think some action would have been a little bit better and looked a little, because the pants that they put me in and the body of that at that time, it's very hard not to look sexy. And so in order to combat that, you have to look athletic, I think. So I would have maybe tried to like jump really high and make different angles with my, or climb up the car in like backwards, maybe like an animal, made it look a lot more like horror film like. So that's what I would have done. But now I'm seasoned, so I know
yes, ma'am. Seasoned like a good side of sorry. I dropped my joke, y'all. I'm sorry.
Okay, the wine, it's the best.
Arga Charga, so Arga Charga is back. He's the guy who sent that comment earlier. He was the guy who did the video. I actually read your comment to her and she appreciated it. You're gonna have to go back and rewind and see what she said to you.
Thank you.
Thomas Lavone is asking, hey, do you still have the dress I gave you, the black top, green bottom, for when you was a judge on the show? Do you know who Thomas Lavone is?
Oh, I think on the Judge on America's It Girl, is he talking about?
I'm assuming.
Yes, I think he is talking about that. Absolutely. You know what? There is a whole, I'm in the process of moving right now, and there's a lot of clothes that I have in like just a bunch of pieces on this rack, and I know that it's on that rack. So thank you so much. I'm pretty sure he's talking about America's It Girl. I did the judge with Anastasia from Beverly Hills.
Nice.
It's a really cool little like model competition show, and I got to be the model judge myself.
Grand high.
Yes.
Tonia TLC, your natural hair is life. Back then, I wish they let you rock natural. That is my comment. My question is, what are you up to now, and how can we get more of you, Kiara?
Well, thank you for asking. Now I am the CEO of a company called The Fashion Life.
You are the what?
The fashion. I'm, you know.
You the what?
I'm the CEO. Oops.
You the what?
We're causing all kinds of earthquakes right now.
No, you're okay. See, her phone been ringing. It's been falling because she's the CEO.
It is crazy right now because we have a lot of amazing things coming up. We work with models all over. So the Fashion Life Tour is a company that works with amateur models to give them the experience of what it's like to be in the actual industry. So there's a lot of schools out there, and you know, they have their goals and stuff like that. But I was like, you know what? I want to get these girls in the driver's seat. So we produce shows for LA Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week. And their graduation is being able to walk in these shows with agency models and get what it feels like to go to a casting and things like that. So we do our things virtually one-on-one, and then we do group sessions, and it's really like a family. So I love the ladies that I work with, all woman-owned company, and we've been doing this for a long time now. And it's beautiful. It becomes an experience where you get to go overseas potentially and do a photo shoot at the Eiffel Tower. And that way you're more able and apt when you go into your agency meeting, who we set up with, you know, wherever you are, to nail that and to know what it's like and to have the book and for me to creatively direct you to do that. And it's really exciting because this year we've just opened up our offices again after like kind of the quarantine and stuff like that. And we're partnering with other America's Next Top Models who are going to be coaches as well. So you will have a coach in your individual city. So right now we have Monique Weingart, we have Lisa Jackson, we have Kenya Hill, and everybody's really excited to kind of create this umbrella of top model mamas that you can resonate with. We have a pose coach. You know, Kenya's incredible at posing. You know, runway coach, somebody who can understand the business of what it's like to be an independent contractor. You know, those types of things that you need when you go in there to understand yourself as an entrepreneur. So that's what I'm doing now, and we do workshops. I'll be making live appearances here soon when it's safe to travel again. Our next show is set to be April 18th with Sita Couture, one of our amazing designers we work with typically. She's amazing, resort wear. And then we'll be doing London Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week in September. So September is when that's go. So go to thefashionlifetour.com or follow the Fashion Life Tour Instagram or hit me up in the DMs or them in the DMs. And you set up a consultation with myself to see if you're, you know, fit for the company and, you know, what your goals are, where we can place you, what divisions and things like this. So yeah, love working with kids, love working with models, plus size models, everybody, to got to get them to understand the industry and for what it is. And I love my babies. I love all my babies. You guys, I know you guys are out there watching right now. Shout out to my CFL team. Congratulations on everything you're doing. Yeah, and then other than that, working with very closely with Miko Plastic Surgery. He's been one of our main sponsors with their company Restore, their nonprofit foundation. It's a foundation that does reconstructive surgery for kids in different countries that can't afford it. typically Ghana in Africa and things like that. And Dr. Obeng is really, really incredible. So we're partnering with him with a lot of exciting things that are coming out, especially in the medical field, just with the vaccines and stuff. So I'm very connected to that company and him. And you know, he's very special to me. That man, he's been my best friend for 9 years. So like, we really understand, you know, what it takes to elevate, you know, the masses. So that's what we're trying to do, and help each other do that. So yeah, go to the Fashion Life Tour. Go ahead and send your information. You can get to talk to me yourself. And I'm excited to meet each and every one of you. Everybody is hitting me up. I know, you guys. So they're all excited. They're like, we see you, coach. We see you, coach. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. So, so yes, so that's what we're doing. So come on over to the Fashion Life Tour. Get you ready for the fashion industry with Mama Kiki, and yeah, meet the fam. Meet the fam. It's very exciting stuff.
I just want to come in and be a special judge one day only in each city, and I just want to walk through, and I just want to look at them.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
You're trying to come on as a judge. You know
I don't know shit about shit.
No, yes, you do. I'm sure doing this for so long now, you know what I mean? Just like coming in, because even just about being a personality, a lot of the things that I do are just about teaching self-awareness and confidence and knowing yourself and stepping into your power and stepping into your light and taking that power and being confident enough to do that just with your voice, your presence, and your energy. So that is what we really teach here, not just about, you know what I mean? Because it just takes that one lights was turned on and I said, okay, Beyonce just came out because I know myself.
Well, listen. If I was the coach for that class, I would tell the girls, listen, my gay mother told me, and I am telling you girls, when you walk into any room, your only job is to destroy it. However, means necessary. And once you destroy it, you leave and let the children pick up the pieces after you've left.
Yes. and then say you're welcome.
Okay, Beautiful Brown Eyes wants to know, what was your favorite thing about your experience on Top Model?
Going to Jamaica.
Jamaica, okay.
Yeah, going to Jamaica. Yeah, that was really cool for me. I'd never been outside the country before, so.
Beck_Wolo wants to know, do you like the way you were edited on the show?
Yeah, I think so. I think that definitely, like, there was a progression of how they portrayed my character throughout. Like, they kind of opened up to more the things that I would do like, I cooked before every single elimination because I knew that would be our last dinner. You know what I mean? And they were kind of starting to show, like, my recipes and more of, like, the mama that I was to all, you know, instead of kind of like this kind of, you know, tough basketball chick. Yeah, exactly. That's strong. So they showed the strong side, and then you got the soft side a little bit. And it really showed me a lot about myself, actually, looking back after that, through that experience, growing as a person and realizing that, like, the only thing that was holding me back was my inability to be vulnerable. And I saw that reflection of that side of me, and it helped me grow. It helped me grow to be like, okay, this is who I am, acceptance, and then growth. And now I feel nothing but power and light and love. So it really, like, was part of my, like, upbringing, part of my journey, like, this whole thing. So yeah.
Okay. And just not me, Kiara, I love you, and you should have been the winner. My question is, what girl would you love to do a photo shoot with from another cycle?
Oh, let's see here. That's tough. I think I would probably love to do a photo shoot with
Nick from Cycle 5.
Oh, yes, that would be hot. That would be everything. Yes.
Major!
Yes, she's the queen, for sure. I've done a couple photo shoots with some of the girls afterwards. We're wanting to do, now that we're doing this whole thing, we're all going to do some shoots. So you guys are going to get there, and we're going to start adding everybody's pictures, and maybe we can even have requests of who you guys want for, you know what I mean, to come on, and we make this like a community of top model coaches. And because there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us, and we all have something to contribute. So yeah, I think that's a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that too, right now. Like, Maybe Lisa. Yeah, definitely Raina. Yeah. All right. So, see, don't tell me.
Ashley.morgan.fink is asking, have you met any other models from other cycles? You've already answered that earlier. So you guys have to rewatch this again. I am Tim Eason is asking, how come this season didn't have a normal theme song and Kiara's Drop Dead Gorgeous? She also talked about that earlier too. So you're gonna have to rewind and watch it from the beginning. Yes, she did answer your question. I'm scrolling through Miss Kiara to make sure I'm not missing anyone's question. You've done a great job, and I have like 2 more questions for you.
I'm thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. We have to do this again sometime.
Oh no, girl, you too busy for me. You too busy for me. Mm-mm.
Oh, stop. I'm not too busy.
You too busy for me.
I have time for everything. Here I am. The universe gives us infinite time. We just have to make it.
Amber _ girl, you in this phone. Amber _alert_. Who was your favorite judge? She talked about that earlier too. Yeah. When I upload this to YouTube, make sure you rewind because she talked about who her judges were. I'm scrolling through the comments. Okay, listen, I think I answered everybody's question. I'm not gonna hold you long. I have 2 more questions. Can you please, please bless us with a song?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. All right. I will sing a little bit, not a whole song. Okay. If you're feeling significant, you better think again. Better wake up because you're part of something way bigger. You're part of something way bigger. Not just a speck in the universe. Not just some words in the Bible verse. You are the living word. You're part of something way bigger. Bigger than you, bigger than we, bigger than the picture they framed us to see. But now we see it. It ain't no secret. Oh. Is that good? More?
That was so good.
So look up, don't look down, then watch and unfold. Life is your birthright. They hit that in the fine print. Take the key and rewrite it. Step out your estimate. Step out your essence and know that you're excelling right. The spirit is teaching. No, I'm not just preaching. I'm taking my own advice. Let mama let you know. Mama's still tired. I can't get no days off. I don't get no days off. Truly, I'm feeling it. I had to say that thing twice. I'm trying to be a good wife. It's still really hard. I can't lie. But I promise you I will fight. So I fight.
Oh, that was so
good. Thank you.
That was so good. Okay, and my last question is, if you were standing before Tyra Banks right now, what would you say to her?
Oh my gosh, Tyra, I would say thank you so much for lighting up the path and showing me the way and giving me the opportunity to grow in the way that I did, to become the woman I am today. You are a very essential factor in who I became. And thank you for being an inspiration and a role model for me to be the businesswoman and the mother that I am. So I give you so much praise and gratitude. So, and I will for always speak that in my space and pray for you and your family and send you all that light back because you deserve that and more.
Kiara, this was so freaking amazing. You are such a beautiful light. You're so inspirational, and I just feel like I've experienced something worth holding on to. No, it was really good because you're just so happy, and it's great. It's great. And I'm pretty sure, like me, everybody else who's watching this and who will watch this will walk away feeling this. Look at that smile. Come on and smile. You never get smile.
Amen.
I am so appreciative of you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I loved this. I had a great time. I would love to do it again. I'll make time for you anytime, Oliver. And good luck to everything that you're doing. I am so proud of you. Like, this is just the beginning for you as well. Like, wow. Like, I mean, I'm excited to see where you blossom and the mountains that you climb, because surely you will climb them. Surely.
Oh, thank you so much. That means so much. Thank you.
All
Listen,
right.
everybody watching, please wave goodbye, send kisses, send hugs, send all the positive energy she's giving us right back to her as we wave goodbye to Miss Kiara for giving us an amazing live chat on Top Model Psychometry.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Don't forget to check out the Fashion Life tour, and I'll make a post so that you can get all the information right after here. So love you guys. So much love and light to you. Kill this year. Happy New Year to everybody. Go after it. It's there. It's yours. So just go grab it and be cool. Be positive. Yay.
All right. You have a good night, baby.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Listen, I'm not going to hold y'all long. Church was great, and I'm about to give a benediction. This video will be uploaded to the Oliver Twixt, TWIXT YouTube channel. I'm probably going to do it. I'll probably premiere it in the morning. So listen, get your asses up wherever the fuck you are in the world so you can watch this video. I've done 2 videos today, so I bet you's going to sleep. I'm going to go get in the shower, and I'm going to wash my body and lay it to rest. Listen, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, sharing, commenting, subscribing, liking. Big ups to everybody who participated in the badge program, the Q&A things. I thank you! And with that, guys, be sure to pray and kegel, because Kiara told us tonight, when you tighten your pussy, when you sit there and focus on tightening your pussy, I don't really want to say it out loud because I can tell Kiara's holy, and she's left a nice ointment and a nice covering over this live. So I have to say I need my bread. When you tighten your, you can grow up one day and be a CEO, phone hanging off the hook, boss like her. We 40 videos in, and now y'all know it's a proven fact. So again, be sure to pray and kegel. Good night, y'all.